Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Glory Reds podcast. It's your boy Don Benito, and today we are going to be discussing the events that have been happening at Manchester United. I mean, we're going to be talking about yesterday's game. I actually titled this topic "The Storm is Over" because I believe that storm that Ruben Amorim was talking about, that suffering that he was talking about, I think we have crossed over that. I think we have pushed through those barriers. And I'll explain why as I jump more into it. We're going to have the match reaction. And then we're going to talk about the referees. Because I think enough is enough when it comes to Manchester United. I think this time around it's just becoming blatant to the point where it's hard to ignore. So I think we're going to be talking about that. And then I want to give a special shout out to the boys. It's like we always say, if we're going to criticize these players as hard as we can, we need to give them praise as well. And I want to dish out some praise today. Like, I am so over the moon with the players, and I just want to shower them with love and, you know, you know what I mean? And then we're going to talk about what's next. Ineos, Manchester United, the January transfer window. What are we going to be doing next? Let's jump straight into it. Right. Manchester United beat Arsenal on penalties. Was it 5-3 or 5-4? 5-3. Huh? Anyway, Manchester United beat Arsenal on penalties, but they drew 1-1. It was a good game. Personally, I think that game didn't have to go to penalties, but it did. And it was such a good game. It had everything that we wanted in it. But I wanted to give a special shout out to our players because another performance that showed resilience, another performance that showed togetherness, another performance that showed that these boys are fighting for the club. It was so pleasing to see. It was absolutely amazing to watch. You because let's first of all let's start with Altai Biende. Like in the beginning of stages of that game, I was thinking to myself, what the hell is happening? His kicking was just atrocious. But then again, Altai Biendi's performance yesterday was an example. It was even a life example that you can start off badly. It doesn't matter. You can start off badly. You just need to pick up your head, you know, chin up, chest out, and you keep on moving, and things will change. And that's what happened. Altai Biendi had he's the beginning. Like I was thinking to myself, why did Ruben and we already knew that Alta Biende was going to play this game before. I remember when I was selecting my team in the app, I had Onana, and then I listened to the press conference from the gaffer, and he confirmed that now Alta Biende is gonna start. I'm like, oh okay. So I ran back into the app and I changed. So I'm just sitting here thinking, what is this guy going to do? But then as you watch the game, as the game kept on progressing, you started seeing his confidence build. You start seeing him growing into the game, and it was just amazing. Dominant. Like Arsenal's trick, whatever, trick shots or whatever you want to call it, like their ace under the sleeve yesterday, we nullified that. The set pieces. Ruben Amorim and the boys have been doing their homework. I remember talking to the boys in the group, and I was like, these boys, they did their homework. Our defending was absolutely on point. There was no point in that game where I thought to myself, oh my God, we're going to lose in the set pieces. Like after we started defending the first couple of corners and stuff, I was already comfortable as compared to the other game where every corner was about to stop my heart. I just felt like the world was about to end. Every time they got a corner, I'm like, damn, this is going to be a goal. But yesterday I was feeling so confident, so confident. And the boys delivered. Big shout out to Captain Bruno. He is a lot of games. People say now when it comes to the big games, the captain moans. I had a problem with the way Bruno reacted to not getting a pen, like not getting not re, for the foul not being called on him. And I'll explain why. Like, listen, I understand that he's frustrated. This is the FA Cup. You know, I get everything that was in there, but I think in that very same breath, Bruno was supposed to exercise calm, patience, because already we knew that we were playing 12 against 10. We already knew it. So for him to actually put that force and get angry, or maybe I'm confusing it because maybe it was before or after the Dalot's thing. I'm not too sure. Must have been after. I think it was before. I think it was after. And I'm thinking to myself, Bruno, your petulance. If you get pissed off like that, you throw your boot, you throw your what, you throw your hands in the air, and then the ref gives you a double yellow card. You have already then you have screwed us, and then we're gonna have to sit here by ourselves as the fans and think, nah, now Bruno did a good thing. We're supposed to retaliate, but then the decision has gone against us. You could see in that game that there was nothing that we could do that was going to influence the referee. So how do you play with the referee like that? How do you deal with people like that? You avoid them. And how do you avoid them? You don't become petulant. You just play your game. You play to the whistle. Already we had the upper hand because we were resilient. Like Arsenal were rattled in their own backyard. They were rattled. But for some reason, we were the ones who were more angry. We were the ones who were causing more. Now I can understand. So which is why I was a little bit upset with Bruno in that particular moment, because I'm like, Bruno, you don't know. Imagine you got a red card because of what you did. Dalot, we have seen him receive 2 yellow cards. This is not yesterday's game wasn't the first time. I think the other game where he got a double yellow card was against Liverpool, if I'm not mistaken. Because of something, and then he gets pissed off because of just silliness. And Bruno was teetering within that line. And I was upset with him. I was not upset with him getting angry over the decision. No, don't get me wrong. The decision was correct. He had the right to complain because he was fouled. And how that was not given also blows my mind. Now, I remember I said that, we don't like to complain or take our issues to the board or run to these guys and say, oh, we have been aggrieved because we are Manchester United. Now, when I say we are Manchester United, you guys are going to be like, this fucking line again. It's the truth. Manchester United in the 90s and the early 20s, there's this notion, or there's this agenda, or I don't even know what the word is to use, but there is this narrative that Manchester United bought referees. Sir Alex Ferguson is the godfather of the Premier League. He called the shots. Fergie time is not a myth. All these kind of things. So within that breath, and then on top of that, you saw we were winning games. Remember, we were dominating England. So on top of that, people are like, nah, we are sick and tired of this. So nowadays, nobody cares about Manchester United when it comes to decisions. Like these dubious, weird, strange calls that come against us. Nobody cares. If we don't go as a club to go and appeal or do something about it, it will just be thrown under the rug. And us as fans will just continue getting upset, like losing our mind like we did yesterday and stuff. Because yesterday was a textbook example of a referee that is trying his level best to help the opposition or to help the favored team or whatever you want to call it. It was a perfect example. Yellow cards that don't make sense. Like, it was bizarre. Penalties that shouldn't be penalties. We don't get penalties. Like, it was just one of those games where you sit there and you'll be like, nah, I think they need to do something about this referee. I think there needs to be an investigation. An investigation needs to be launched. Because we can't sit here and think it's all cool. And then when we get into the latter stages of the competition, the same issues, the same mistakes, the same problems will arise there, and then we're not gonna be able to be dealing with them. I think yesterday's refereeing was absolutely out of order. It was bullshit, and I can't we can't sit here as United fans and just accept it because we won, and we need to be great, and we're grateful for that. But mind you, if we lost that game, the narrative right now, I would be pissed. I would be on a rant. I would have been talking about the mistakes that we did in the game that now, because we won, just seem as small issues. I would have been picking something else to be blasting these players. But no, yesterday it was a referee. I'm sorry. And Delo with these reckless. Oh, this is the second time he has done this. And what is with our Portuguese this season? Getting red cards left, right, and center. What is up with them? Can they get it together, please? It is now, I wanted to give a big shout out to Xerxes because I saw something in yesterday's game that I've never seen him do in a United jersey. Like, if that was confidence on display, I want more of that. I want to see more of Xerxes playing football like that. I think what I saw from Xerxes yesterday was a player that has shrugged off like the shyness. Like I don't know. I could be wrong, but I saw his confidence level at a very high level yesterday. The things he was doing on the pitch when he came on, we've seen glimpses of him doing it, but yesterday it was like full blown. It was like, ugh. And I was just sitting there thinking, Xerxes, what, what's going on here? I am loving what I am seeing. Xerxes yesterday was doing stuff that I'm just like, listen, I need more of that. I need more of that. That fluidity, his dribbling capabilities. We all knew he's a talented football player, but this guy can dribble. This guy can send people to the markets and back. This guy can take you to your aunties to go and cook. Like, he is technically gifted, and he did some stuff yesterday that just made my mind go poof. And then it made me have a lot of questions in my mind. I just kept on thinking to myself, does Xerxes really want to leave? Because we hear all these stories, we read these stories. We're not too sure. His agent, does he really want to leave Manchester United? Like, I can't wrap my head around it. I can't. And for the life of me, I don't want Xerxes to leave. I think I'm committed to the player. I think now I have, like how I said, I usually see something and I'm like, no, we can do something with this. If I've seen enough, So there's a contrast. Rasmus Højlund, I think he needs to now chow bench. I think it's enough. Like, I think I've seen enough. I'm not saying get rid of him because I'm not trying to start a riot or something like that. I'm just saying he needs to chow the bench now. And then Xerxes comes on and try the thing that he did yesterday. But here's the very strange thing that I needed to point out. I don't know about you guys, but have you noticed that our strikers this season, Rasmus Højlund and Xerxes, they work in a very strange opposite way. So Rasmus Højlund yesterday had a bad game. He didn't have a particularly good game. Even the game before, he didn't have a particularly good game. And if you've noticed, there's been some sort of a young pattern. I don't want to say it was a pattern, like, nah. But there's this occurrence that happens where if Rasmus Højlund starts, if Xerxes comes on off as a bench, he does the magic. If Xerxes starts the game and then Rasmus comes off the bench, Rasmus does the business. You understand? It's just like they intertwine. So I don't know if, let's say, we go back to starting Xerxes, I don't know if he's going to like revert back to that thing where he doesn't see goals. But I wanted to talk about how I feel like Manchester United right now is going into a new direction. I think the momentum has changed, and I think we need to be aware of it. And I want to talk about a little bit of the things that I'm seeing. I know you guys don't like to talk about this, but we are making it into the top 7. I said top 10. I initially said top 4, then I dropped to top 6 because of how we were moving. And then I moved to 10. I refuse for us to stay in the bottom half. We're not gonna stay there this whole season. I refuse. So I said 10. But now I'm moving the bar a little bit. I think we're gonna make it into top 7. And I think the more games that we play and the more we see these players like this, we win games, we are easily going to make it into the top 6. And you guys are gonna come back and be like, Benito, Oh, how did you know? Guys, just follow the pattern. I'm really convinced that we're gonna be playing Europe next year. In as much as I initially said I didn't want us to play Europe, and I'll explain this whole situation. So now, where is Manchester United going from here? I really believe that we're going into the top half of the table, and dare I say, we could make it into top six. I know I just said top seven, but I think top six is is attainable for Manchester United. Now, it is very blasphemous for us to say this because like it's almost like bringing bad luck or jinxing it. But I believe maybe I'm the only one in a fan base of maybe I don't know 30, 50, 100 million United fans. I don't know, but being the only one that's saying that I think we'll make it, it's okay. I don't cause a lot of problems. I don't, people are not looking at me. But then if I get it right, it's like, oh my God, look at this guy. But I'm feeling certain things. I don't know about you guys. I feel certain things in the, like, especially with the Premier League and how football is moving. You see, like Mikel Arteta, I'll give for an example. I had a feeling when, and I didn't say it, and that's the thing that pissed me off because I wish I said it just so that people can know that I said it. But I'm gonna start doing that because anyway. When Eric Ten Hag got sacked, I got this immediate feeling in my gut that Eric Ten Hag's sacking would be a catalyst for other manager's sacking. Because I couldn't for the life of me think to myself that this manager, Eric Ten Hag, yes, we were losing right up until the point that we're not really losing, but we were not too bad. You look at we were right up there with the team who's conceded the less goals. We had not lost a lot of games. We were drawing, and we were not winning, but we were not losing. We were not bad. Those last few minutes, those last few games against Eric Ten Hag, we were not bad. So, now I've lost my train of thoughts. Damn it! But we were in that position, and then all of a sudden, we're not playing very well. Oh no, no, no! People are complaining. People are complaining about where we are. We're sacking the manager. This manager has just won the FA Cup, right? He's won the Carabao Cup in 2 seasons. And I thinking to myself, like a lot of board members and owners are gonna be looking at the situation in Manchester United and thinking to themselves, these guys just sacked Eric Ten Hag, who just brought 2 trophies in 2 seasons. Their team is actually not too bad. They just need a couple of wins for them to be right up there. I knew it was gonna be a catalyst. And I knew that Arteta, somebody was gonna single him out. I knew it. I had this feeling. I just said, "I will wait. We'll see." And here it is. Now I didn't know that Pep Guardiola was gonna be mixed in there. I didn't know Lopetegui was gonna be in there. All the other guys that were sacked and brought in. I didn't know that all was gonna be there. But I just had this feeling, and this feeling also came when I thought if Arsenal are not showing any signs of being contenders for the Premier League, it's gonna be very difficult for them. It's gonna be very difficult because they're gonna be like, nah, we've kept this guy for 5 years. He's just brought 1 cup, and we're not winning. What is the point? And with Manchester United, with Eric Ten Hag, you could tell that there was some sort of build, like a rebuild. We were building. We just needed to put in certain players, but it didn't happen. Now, I was always a supporter for not playing in Europe. And I'll explain why. The reason why I didn't want us to play in Europe was because I felt like Europe takes too much time. It takes too much time to the point where these guys don't get to learn and play and train. Ruben Amorim has been emphasizing, ever since he arrived here, he's been emphasizing about training. He doesn't get enough time to train. He doesn't train. Eric Ten Hag, if you look back, I know some of you have forgotten already. He never had that. So I just kept thinking to myself, Arsenal went through this. Arsenal's playing the football that they're playing right now because of, I think, 1 or 2 seasons not in Europe. Yeah. Now, when you say, what do you mean no Europe? Europe, there are games, home and away. traveling. In a week, you can train maybe once, which is not good if you're a team on a rebuild. It doesn't make sense. But if you're rebuilding, you need at least 3 days in a week, or even 4. 3 days is enough to train with your players, to drill your idea, to make your idea come to life and make sense. You need at least 3 days, at least, minimum. Now, when you're playing in Europe and all these other competitions, it becomes difficult for that to happen. Very difficult. Because you come from one game, you can't train, you're resting, recovering, and then you're going to touch up and talk about the next game. There's no chance. So Arsenal in those 2 seasons or whatever, no Europe, come back firing like crazy. People are shocked. I was not shocked when that was happening. I looked at everybody, I'm like, but why are you guys surprised? Why? Why are you surprised that these guys are playing football like this? Why? Are you not paying attention to what's going on? Come on. Then a couple of seasons later, Chelsea. Chelsea is the perfect example. They didn't play in Europe when? Last season or the season before? I forgot. But they didn't play in Europe. That's my point. They only played FA Cup, Carabao, Premier League. That was it. There was no going to Europe for this and that. They were training all the time. The season comes in, Chelsea starts smacking people, everybody's surprised. Why are you freaking surprised? It's because these guys have had enough time for them to train and be on the pitch and be with the gaffer. The gaffer had plenty of time to repeat and repeat and rinse and repeat and drill his ideas into these players. Why are you surprised? Like, if that didn't work, like, then that could have been a problem. Like, people would be like, you guys had all the time in the world to train and do what you had to do, but you failed. Something is not right. So with Manchester United, I was on the same boat. I was like, listen, because I kept thinking to myself, even Erik ten Hag, he will not be able to break it in there or try and get this team to play his football if he doesn't train them. If he doesn't spend a lot of time on the pitch training these guys, his idea will not come to fruition. Now, obviously, Erik ten Hag, just like his predecessors before that, allowed himself to be bitten by the bug, and then he tried to accommodate players. He tried to bend his own rules to accommodate players that honestly didn't give a shit. And that was his downfall. The difference between Ruben and Erik ten Hag is that Ruben has set the table. And whatever is there, the food that is there, you don't like it, you don't eat. You full sec. You've got no time. You eat what's on your plate. You do what is there. There is no manga. There is no there's none of that. It's get with the program or ship out. And I am loving this rebuild. Now, I kept on thinking to myself that, we need to stay out of Europe so that we can, Now, that probably would have worked if it was a different manager. And I'll tell you for why. Because I believe Ruben Amorim is special in the sense that this guy came in, explained to us exactly what the formation is, exactly what he wants from his players, exactly how we are going to play. He told us that we're going to see an idea. He said, forget about the results and everything else. He said, you're going to see an idea. And the idea, we are seeing it. So that's already part of the step, right? Then the next thing is for these players to actually now, like, where everybody now is like for like, people are just coming in and out of the team. Like, you're substituting this player, this guy's going in, he knows what he needs to do. We're already there. Now, I initially thought, like I said, if this was another manager, I don't think we would have been where we are right now, to be honest. I don't think any manager, I even Pep, even Klopp, I don't believe they would have done this, because they would have just come in and tried to see what they can do. But this guy has literally just taken out some weed, stomped his authority and said, nah, I am the boss here. I am the boss. You do what I say, you follow what I say, otherwise you move out. And I like that. I absolutely love that, because now everybody was put on notice There was nothing like, this player is better than this. Nah, he came in. Now, when he came in, majority of you, I wasn't expecting the manager bounce back, by the way, because I saw the way we were playing. I just couldn't picture it. Like, I think I would have been confused. Like, after seeing what they were doing previously, and then Ruben comes in, and then we have this mad manager bounce back where, like you know, the Ole one, or the, you know what I'm talking about, that bounce back. Like, if we had that, I would have been confused. Like, I would have been even more upset. I think I might have been even more depressed, because I would have felt like, damn, these guys are trying to pull another one over Amorim, because they're trying to do that bullshit again. Show him for the first few games that we're good, and then take away the happiness from us. I really thought that was going to happen. But we took a different direction. And that's where I started seeing the positives, and where I'm like, you know what? There's hope. There's actually hope. There is absolutely hope, guys. I swear to you, Ruben Amorim is shaping this team within the season, the difficult season, and we have got other stuff. We have Europe. We're still playing in Europe. But he is dealing with the team. He's right there, like he's chopping and changing. People don't like it, but it's working for us. He has understood that there were players that came in that had injuries that just come back, and he's trying to get everybody up to the same level. I am loving it. And those that are not playing, he's weeded out. Rashford, what he's taken out. Like, I am loving what Ruben and Amorim has done. Which is why I believe at this stage where we are right now, we don't need to not qualify for Europe. Because I believe Ruben Amorim is meticulous in the way he's coaching these guys. There is no way in thinking that these boys don't get it. Nah. They get it. They're doing the business. You look at the way they've been playing. Wow, it's just like, it just shows that these guys get the idea. And in as much as we were talking about, it's going to be difficult, and and the manager did tell us, like, listen, the storm is coming. Things are going to be difficult. We did it. And I honestly, truly believe we have gone through the most difficult part of the Ruben Amorim reign at Manchester United. I think the difficult part of the process has been, we've done it. I truly believe so. I think now we're moving forward now we're trying to establish ourselves now. We're trying to let the 3-4-3 stick and become an idea, our identity, where it is a point where people look at Manchester United and they're scared. I believe so. So I am truly, truly happy with the direction that we are going. Because like I said, I didn't want us to go to Europe. Next season, I wanted us to not have Europe completely just focused. But the way Amorim is going on about his business is giving me confidence. And I'm seeing it with the players. I'm seeing in the way they are playing. The fight, the game against Liverpool. Wow. That fight, that spirit. Arsenal. And you look at Arsenal, they had, like, they looked like they were doing business, the business, but it was all barking to me. To me, it was all barking. I'm sorry. I didn't feel scared. Like, I didn't feel it. I just felt like this is just another one of those in the back of my mind. And I actually predicted 2-1 for us to win. So I wasn't really, and that should tell you something about your club. Like, when you start feeling this confidence, when you start seeing De Ligt, Harry Maguire, Mazraoui, the Butcher defend the way Euro, like, guys, this team gets it. This team, and like we said, like, if we're gonna criticize these players, we need to give them praise for it. And I'm just want to give them big praise, man. Like, they did it for me yesterday. Yesterday was the happiest day of my life in a very long time. I was happy. I was dancing. I believe you guys. Yesterday's win was just amazing. I'm sorry. It was amazing. It was good. It was good for my health. I'm pretty sure it was good for your health. I'm sure some of you made love to your wives and your girlfriends like never before. Like it was beautiful. Then to top it on top, Barcelona just go and give Real Madrid a proper spanking. It was beautiful. It was beautiful yesterday. Last night was beautiful. And I wouldn't exchange what I experienced yesterday for nothing. That draw. By the way, that shouldn't have been a draw. How are we letting Gabriel, a defender, score goals like that? And it was a deflection, but how is he even like? No, man. Big ups. Harry Maguire, for me particularly, I'm gonna give him a big shout out. And I know I shouldn't be doing this because he has been playing very well ever since last season. Ever since like 1 year and a half, Harry Maguire has been doing the business. He's just had issues with his injury, but damn it, he was defending. And I believe he set the tone. I think he is the leader at the back. I'm sorry. Him, like, I think when I look at the people that are our defenders, I think Harry Maguire is taking that duty upon himself. I think he's taking that upon himself to be the lead, and he's leading from the back. He's leading. Wow, what a performance yesterday by Harry Maguire. What a performance yesterday by Matthias de Ligt, the future captain of Manchester United. Huh? Did you see that boy yesterday? Was amazing. And he's the guy that you guys were trying to shit on. Like, de Ligt is home. I remember looking at de Ligt when he was still playing for Ajax. And I'm like, boy, you belong at Manchester United. And then he snapped us and he went to Juve. And I kept thinking to myself, boy, you belong to Manchester. And then he leaves and he goes to Bayern Munich. And in my mind, I'm like, boy, you belong to Manchester. I don't know why, but you belong to Manchester. Look where he is. Look at what he's doing. Matthias de Ligt. And then can I give another shout out? Hey, Manu Ugarte, the cleaner. Guys, Manu Ugarte, code name the cleaner. Remember that, everybody. Let's spread the word. Manu Ugarte is his code name the cleaner, because that guy just fixes things. Huh? That guy just tidies up stuff for people. That is Manu Ugarte. That beginning of that 15 minutes of the game yesterday, when Arsenal were coming at us, I just kept thinking to myself, if Ugarte was not on this pitch, Jesus Christ, I would have received 3 or 2. I'm telling you, that guy is essential. He is important to the future of Manchester United. Manuel Ugarte. Guys, thank you for listening to the Glory Reds podcast. It's your boy Don Benito. Please don't forget to subscribe, click your notification bell so that you don't miss any of our episodes that come on. Please, thank you for supporting our channels. It's your boy Don Benito. Peace.